Okay, go.
Okay. Hi, gang. It's Mrs. Miller here, and I'm going to do a video on cake decorating. Some of you have seen some of the stuff I've done, others have not. So I'm thinking that the teachers are going to take this video and then ask some questions in the meantime. So I have set up this area just like you would if you were setting up your area for if you're working that line for restaurant, if you're doing quantity cooking, any of the baking, you're setting up all your area. I have my sanitation bucket here with my towel. I have all my icings mixed, ready to go. I have my tips, my frosting, some other tips there that I had to wash. But right now I want to explain some tips to you. My tips that I'm going to use are a fluted tip, and this is what they use for borders, maybe a drop flower. This one, and they all have numbers on them. So this one is a rose tip. You can also, I use it quite often for a border, a scallop border. This one is just a plain circle, and we use this for writing and also maybe drop flowers, drawing stuff on there. This is what we call a leaf tip. I'm going to show you how to make a leaf tip out of a paper bag, okay? And then these are our standard size. So we have our plastic bag, our disposable bags, and we use these in industry all the time. These are a little smaller. These are a 12-inch. These right here that I have here are 21-inch. And what I have done, what you do is you put your, what you call a coupler, a plastic coupler inside the bag, fill your frosting, and then put your tip on there with the ring that goes on it, and then you screw it on there. So then you could have all these different colors and everything here, and then just change out the tip. So for this paper bag, I'm going to show you something. And I've told several students in instruction that if you don't go into cake decorating, this is still a very important piece to know, because if you're going to go into fine dining and you need a sauce on a plate or something like that, you can do this bag and do some increment, fancy type plating in the kitchen, chocolates, whatever. So I have what we call a triangle, paper triangle here, and I'm going to point this to my belly, and then with your right hand, you're going to pick up the right side, bring it down to this point, and flip it over. So you have a cone already. You're going to pick this up, and you're going to flip it around and bring it up. Now that's okay that it doesn't match, but I don't want a hole in the bottom. So I'm going to take this outside flap and I'm going to pull it up tight. So it's solid there. There's nothing that would come up. You can't see through it or anything. So then you're going to fold this over and put a crease in it. And a lot of people will make 10, 20, 30 of them at a time. Well, sometimes they will have a tendency to unravel. So I just rip a little tear in there and fold it over. Then I know that it won't unravel. So, again, I'm going to show you one more time. I'm going to flip this over and make a cone. Bring it up, and then bring this side into this. So you have the 3 points together. They don't have to match. You just want to be able to tighten this up. Flip this over. And in the kitchen world, what does this look like? If you were to present something on a on a plate. You could set this in a metal cone, put fries in the bottom, and put your protein on top. And then that would be a really cool way to display your dinner. Maybe as an appetizer, you have fried pickles in there or whatever. So this is still a trick that you should know how to do. Again, I'm going to rip this just a little bit. Here on the side, I have mixed my green icing because I'm going to make some flowers, so I need leaves. So with my spatula, I'm just going to gather it up, put it in the bag, and wipe off my spatula. So, and as you've seen, there was not a lot of frosting. I'm going to gather this together, and if you were going to use a tip in here, one of these, you would put the tip in first, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use
scissors.
Yeah.
Look back.
Oh, wait a minute. So, what I did was I flattened this paper, and I'm going to cut on a 45-degree angle. And then I'm going to flip it over and do it again. Now, this is paper, and I don't want this to get in with my icing, because it'll clog up my tubes. So now if I'm going to squeeze that out, there's a leaf. You don't need a tip. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside.
Show them what the tip looks like.
So that is a diamond. Is that what you would call it, Cole? A diamond? Yeah. My photographer here is my daughter Kobe. So, and if you hear dinging, that's the dogs running around.
Who cares?
So over here, I have done some samples of borders. This is what we call a shell border, and I'll show you on here, but I just wanted to show you the different types that I do. I call this a shell border. This is a left and right, where you're going to go from one side to the other. This one is a 9. So sometimes you guys are doing a 9 like, sometimes you guys will do a 9 like this, or like that. So this is what we do. That's what that one is in the frosting, is this one right here. Okay, we just call it a 9. And then this one is a reverse 9, and then I put these two together just like this, so you have 5 different borders. Oh, I didn't tell you about this. This is what we're going to use to put make our roses with. So I have my bag here with my tip. Now this one is a little smaller, and if you guys were going to do your 8-inch square cakes, the market, we would use this 16, but so you can see the border, I'm using this 32 tip. It's a little bigger, so you'll be able to see better. I have a plastic, black plastic thing here, and it'll show up when I'm doing this. So I'm going to squeeze and go up and down. Squeeze up and down. I'm going to squeeze, stop, pull it. Squeeze, stop, pull it. Squeeze, stop, pull it. So the next one is you go to the right and to the left, right, left, right, left, right. The next one is that number 9. You're going to go around, squeeze, stop, pull, squeeze, stop, pull, squeeze, stop, pull. The other one is backwards. And then the other one is 9, reverse, 9, reverse, 9, reverse. Okay, so it's the same as what on the other tray. So I'm going to scrape this off and I'm going to now change tips. We got the border down. So now I'm going to change the tip to a writer. Put this on, screw it on there, and it stays. So I've got the frosting in here. I don't have a lot. The bag is full, but I come down here closer, twist it. This is still okay because it's not towards the top, but if you were using one of these, then we would twist the top and you would squeeze from up here. But I have this down here. And you're going to squeeze with your right hand, and a lot of times when you're going to do this, you shake. So we don't want to shake. So I usually will steady it with my other hand. So you're going to come to the top and you're going to pull it down. Squeeze and pull. Just practice making lines. So if I do this, that means I'm not going fast enough and I'm squeezing too hard. If I do this, let's see if I can get it to do it. See this break in it? That means that I was not squeezing enough, but I can't get it to do it now. The icing is quite soft. So to write, I print because I have found out that I cannot write in a straight line. I can write in cursive, but I would much rather print. So if a customer asks me to write in cursive, I will. And it looks like this. And I'm going to tell you what is the first thing customers or people look at when they want their cake. It's their writing. You guys have horrendous, awful, awful writing.
Jesus.
Because you are constantly in communication with your phone or the computer or whatever. There's very little writing. So another bad habit I have is I have these little picks where it comes up. So then after I'm done, then I go back through and I see there's a break right there. I will push them down.
Hold them down again because I wasn't close.
Oh,
Whatever your
the
pick,
break?
No, the pick thing.
Oh, okay. So when I write, I have this where it sticks up and I don't like it. Now, another thing is, guys, I don't have gloves on. I just realized that. I'm touching the frosting. It's a ready-to-eat food, and I don't have gloves on. So, I gotta get my gloves on. So, here we go again. I'm gonna write. Again, I've got my hand and I'm steadying it. Okay. So I have cursive and I have printing. So what I have developed is I make different heights, some things longer, some things bigger. So it's not in a straight line, but it looks like it. It tricks your eyes. Okay. So I've done a border and I've done writing. So now I'm going to do roses. So I'm going to scrape this off. And I'm going to put it right there. So now I'm going to switch it over to this flower tip and use this. I'm going to take this glove off because it has little zags on, looks like a nail. Threading, thank you. So it's easier to turn this. If I had a glove on, it would get all twisted in it. So I'm going to put my tips so there's a fat side and a skinny side. So the skinny side is up. I'm going to put the fat side on the nail, squeeze, and turn the nail. So I have a base. So I'm going to put a second story on here to build up the flower because the roses come out. So I'm going to go up and down, and there's my petal. So somewhere in the middle, I'm going to bring up another petal and come down. So I'm going to come up, squeeze, squeeze, stop, pull.
Angle it more towards me when you show it.
Squeeze. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Bring it around. Oh, that's okay. So then I'm going to take my spatula. Oh, right here. And I can go right underneath it, just on the edge. And then I set it down and I push it off with my nail. Okay? I'm going to sit on a stool and Kobe's going to film me from behind so you guys can see what it is. It's better if you go mirror it if you're left-handed, but if you're right-handed, I'm going to sit on here and she's going to look over my shoulder.
I am?
Yep.
Okay.
And she's going to film it. So you're coming around. Can you see it okay, Cole?
Yeah.
Enough light?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I have my second story, and the reason I'm doing the second story is because you guys have a tendency of going around and around and not building up that petal. So you're going to come up and go down. So you're going to squeeze, 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 stop. Squeeze, squeeze, stop. Pull it down. And the reason you're stopping and pulling it down is because you still have frosting on the end of your tip. Come up and go down. And you want to keep this as clean as possible. Okay. Is he in the video?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there you go. So now we're going to take it off and I'll put it on that board. So now I've shown you how to do a border, writing, and flowers and leaves. So now I'm going to decorate a cake so you guys can see it put all together. Okay? So I'm going to come back around. And you set it down. Okay? I'm going to set this here. And I'm going to bring this over. Now I've already baked this cake. I baked it yesterday. And I took it out of the pan. And it would not cooperate with me. But I was able to get it out, turn it onto this pan, and I've iced it. So You got to make sure your sleeves are all rolled up and everything. I've got blue here and red. I am going to take my writer. I'm going to put this writer in. And, oh, here's another writer. So you work from the inside out. So I'm going to write first, and then I'll put flowers on. So I'm going to write. See, right there, I have a break in it. I can kind of fill it in. So I have written on here, Happy Mother's Day. And for those of you who are at the market, that's what you would have been writing on your cakes. As you can see, I got a little stick up there. So now I'm going to do my roses, and I'm going to do them here. Put my tip on. Hope this one sits on there. Oh, yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to put my roses on, and I'm going to come around and make a base. Make a base. There's my rose. I'm going to pick it up, the spatula, and put it on. I'm going to do 2 more. We work in odd numbers. It tricks the eye to make it look like it's balanced. Another one. There's my other 3rd rose. Put it on there. And I'm going to do rosebuds. And I have not shown you that, but I'll show them to you right here. You go up and down, to the right and to the left. Gonna up and down. Center, right, left. And one more. So I have 3 roses, 4 rosebuds. Totaling 7, that's an odd number. Okay. So now I have my leaf tip. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to squeeze and let go. Sometimes you can do a stems out of your green icing, but for today I'm just showing you this. So there's that so far. So what else has to go on here to finish it off? is a border. Put another glove on. So now, oh, I'm going to switch tips. And I'm going to put a shell on this one. So if I were to put the border on first, I would have been dragging my arm or my sleeve or something through it. Okay, so I'm going to do a different border. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Okay. Nine, 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 nine. There. And then we need a border on the bottom so it looks like it's complete.
You can't see that.
Okay. Your cake you would have had, guys, downtown market would have been in a 8x8 pan, so you wouldn't have had to put on a bottom border, just the top border. And a side note on that, I went in and decorated the cakes, wrote thank you on them, and we took them to the Grand Rapids Rapid bus, a couple fire stations, Kent County Sheriff, and to Pine Rest. So there's your finished product. I am on KentISD.net if you guys have any questions, concerns. After this virus thing is all over with, if this is something you really want to do, a passion for it, Myers, Joann Fabrics, Hobby Lobby, Michaels, they all have this decorating stuff, and it's not too expensive, so you can play with it at home. Buy some of the Betty Crocker frosting, practice, put it back in the container, put it in the refrigerator or cupboard, and say it's for practice. Don't eat it because your brother will probably get into it and spoon on it. If you're coming back as pastry next year, you'll learn all this stuff again, and a lot more. So for now, that's it. Have a great day. I'm checking out.